The first sign is controlled distance. When a woman has feelings she is not ready to reveal, she may create small emotional gaps. She might limit how often she texts first. She may pretend to be less available than she actually is. This is not indifference. It is protection. She is trying to manage how much she shows so she does not feel exposed. But here is the key. Even with that distance, she never fully disappears. She stays connected in subtle ways. She checks in. She responds thoughtfully. The connection remains steady, even if slightly restrained. The second sign is heightened awareness of you. When someone loves quietly, they observe deeply. She remembers the details you casually mentioned weeks ago. She notices when your mood shifts. She picks up on the tone in your voice. Yet she may act as if these observations are accidental. They are not accidental. Attention is emotional investment. When someone studies your patterns, your preferences, your strengths, and your struggles, it reveals care that runs beneath the surface. The third sign is disguised support. She supports you in ways that seem friendly rather than romantic. She encourages your goals. She motivates you when you doubt yourself. She celebrates your wins as if they are her own, but she frames it casually. She does not want it to look like devotion. The truth is, when someone loves you, your growth matters to them deeply. If she consistently uplifts you while downplaying her emotional involvement, that quiet support speaks volumes. The fourth sign is emotional restraint during vulnerable moments. When conversations turn deep, when feelings are discussed, she may shift the focus away from herself. She might ask about your emotions instead of sharing hers. She may offer wisdom, but avoid revealing how strongly she feels. This is not because she lacks emotion, it is because she feels too much, and expressing it would mean risking rejection. So she protects her heart by keeping her deepest feelings unspoken. The fifth sign is subtle jealousy she tries to hide. When another woman gets your attention, you might notice a brief change in her energy. Perhaps she becomes quieter. Perhaps she teases you lightly. Perhaps she withdraws just a little. She will not openly claim you. She does not want to expose how much she cares. But emotions are difficult to disguise completely. Jealousy, when gentle and controlled, often reveals attachment that has not yet been admitted. Understanding these signs requires maturity. You cannot approach this with ego. If you assume every subtle action means love, you will misinterpret signals. But when these patterns appear consistently over time, they tell a deeper story. Here is the most important part. If she is hiding love, it usually means she is still evaluating safety. She is asking herself if you are steady, if you are emotionally grounded, if you can handle her heart without playing with it. Women do not hide love to manipulate. They hide it to protect. Your role is not to force a confession. It is to create an environment where she feels safe enough to lower her guard. That means consistency in your actions, emotional stability in your reactions, respect for her pace. When you do not pressure her, when you do not demand clarity before she is ready, you become someone she can trust. Love that is hidden is often love that is growing. It is careful, it is cautious, but it is real. So instead of chasing validation, become the kind of man whose presence feels secure. Instead of overanalyzing every small signal, focus on being grounded in yourself. Confidence does not rush love. It attracts honesty. When a woman truly loves you but hides it, she is not asking you to decode every mystery. She is watching how you handle uncertainty. She is observing whether you respond with patience or panic, strength or insecurity, understanding or pressure. And when she finally feels safe, when she senses that her emotions will be respected and valued, the walls she built will slowly come down. Not because you forced them, but because you earned her trust. Real love does not need to be chased. It needs to be recognized, respected, and nurtured. If you learn to see the quiet signs, respond with maturity, and lead with emotional steadiness, hidden love will not stay hidden forever. When a woman hides her love, it does not mean she lacks emotion. In many cases, it means her emotions are strong enough to require protection. Love creates vulnerability. And vulnerability exposes the heart to uncertainty. If she has been hurt before, misunderstood, or taken for granted, she may choose caution over immediate openness. This protective instinct is not coldness. It is self-preservation. Emotional protection often appears as composure. She may downplay her feelings, avoid overly affectionate language, or maintain a balanced exterior even when she cares deeply. Internally, however, she may be experiencing powerful attachment. The difference is that she has not yet determined whether the connection feels secure enough to reveal everything. It is important to understand that guarded love is usually thoughtful love. She is evaluating consistency, observing your reactions, and measuring emotional safety. She wants to know if her feelings will be respected or dismissed. She wants to see whether you respond with maturity or insecurity when situations feel uncertain. Responding correctly requires patience. If you interpret her caution as rejection and react with pressure or frustration, you confirm her fears. But if you remain steady, confident, and emotionally grounded, you communicate safety. Safety encourages trust. Recognizing that protection is not absence changes the entire dynamic. Instead of chasing validation, you focus on building stability. Instead of demanding clarity, you demonstrate reliability. Over time, emotional walls begin to lower, not because they were forced down, but because they no longer feel necessary. When love is hidden, it rarely disappears completely. It simply expresses itself in subtle, consistent behaviors rather than dramatic declarations. The key is not to look for grand gestures, but to observe patterns. Consistency over time reveals more than intense moments ever could. One of the clearest indicators of concealed attachment is steady attention. She may not openly flirt or confess her feelings, but she remains present. She replies with intention. She checks in. She finds reasons to continue conversations. Presence is powerful. People naturally invest time where their emotions are invested. Another subtle behavior is disguised support. She encourages your goals, celebrates your progress, and motivates you during difficult moments, yet she frames it as simple friendliness. Support is not random. When someone consistently uplifts you, it reflects emotional care that goes beyond surface interaction. Controlled distance can also be revealing. She may create small boundaries to avoid appearing too attached, but she never fully withdraws. This balance between closeness and restraint often signals inner conflict between emotion and caution. Even slight changes in energy around competition can indicate hidden feelings. A brief shift in tone when another woman gets attention, followed by composure, suggests attachment she is not ready to admit. The most important lesson is this: do not interpret isolated moments. Observe repeated behavior. Hidden love leaves footprints. When attention, support, and subtle emotional reactions appear consistently, they tell a story of growing attachment beneath quiet restraint. Emotional intelligence is the difference between reacting to feelings and understanding them. When a woman hides her love, the worst mistake you can make is jumping to conclusions based on fear or ego. Assumptions create pressure. Awareness creates clarity. Instead of asking yourself whether she likes you in a single moment, observe how she behaves over time. Patterns reveal truth. Impulses create confusion. Emotional intelligence requires self-control. If she pulls back slightly, do you panic and chase validation, or do you remain grounded? If she gives attention but avoids confession, do you demand answers, or do you allow space for comfort to grow? Your reaction teaches her whether you are safe emotionally. Stability attracts openness. Insecurity pushes it away. It also involves listening beyond words. Tone, timing, and consistency often communicate more than direct statements. When she invests effort, remembers details, or shows concern for your well-being, those are emotional signals. You do not need dramatic proof when steady care is already present. Patience becomes a form of strength. Instead of forcing clarity, you allow emotions to unfold naturally. When you remain calm in uncertainty, you demonstrate confidence in yourself. That confidence reduces tension and builds trust. Emotional intelligence is not about decoding every gesture obsessively. It is about staying balanced, observing calmly, and responding with maturity. When you lead with awareness instead of assumption, you create an environment where hidden feelings feel safe enough to become visible in their own time. In the end, hidden love is not a mystery meant to frustrate you. It is a reflection of emotional depth moving carefully. When a woman protects her feelings, shows subtle consistency, and reveals attachment through small but meaningful actions, she is not playing games. She is measuring safety, stability, and sincerity. Understanding this changes your approach completely. Instead of reacting with impatience or assumption, you respond with awareness and self-control. You stop chasing dramatic confirmation and start observing steady patterns. You recognize that emotional protection does not mean emotional absence. It often means the feelings are significant enough to guard. The real power lies in your response. When you remain grounded, emotionally intelligent, and confident, you create an atmosphere where vulnerability feels secure. Pressure closes hearts, patience opens them, insecurity creates distance, stability builds trust. Hidden love, when nurtured with maturity, gradually transforms into open expression, not because it was forced into the light, but because it finally feels safe enough to be seen.